Good afternoon. This is Dr. David. Good Friday, rather. This is Dr. David back with the Fresh Start with Dr. David podcast. Welcome back. And it's nice to communicate with you again. It has been a few weeks, and I have a good explanation, or rather excuse for that. It's that I've been so swamped. I have really literally been so swamped that I'm struggling to contact people back who are requesting appointments in my office. So that is a good thing. I'm not complaining, but that's part of the excuse slash explanation for why you haven't heard from me in a few weeks. But hopefully this episode will be worth it. And I think it's right in time. As you may or may not know, Passover and Easter just moved beyond us. And, most people have an idea of what those two events represent. Easter represents, resurrection, rebirth, renewal, all those kind of things. And Passover kind of represents the same thing. And it literally means allowing things to pass over so they can begin again, right? Hence, hence the notion of spring and spring planting, right? So we're in that season. I know in the greater Atlanta area, or at least where my office is located in Sandy Springs / Roswell, we've been getting tons of rain, tons of pollen, then rain in a cycle. Rain, pollen, rain, pollen, rain, pollen. And I'm not complaining about the rain, except for the crazy drivers here, because the rain tends to wash away the pollen. But it represents a cycle, and our lives have cycles, which I've spoken about plenty of times before on the Fresh Start with Dr. David podcast. Our lives, just like the environment that we come from, have cycles. Everything on this planet that's living has a cycle, right? Those are called life cycles, right? So that term life cycle, that's where it comes from. That it means the circle of living and or existence, right? And so things do happen in cycles. The weather occurs in cycles, births occur in cycles, pollination occurs in cycles, planting occurs in cycles, harvesting occurs in cycles, winter, summer, spring, fall, all those things occur in cycles. And so we live life according to cycles, right? And cycles represent something. They represent a repeat of something, right? Something beginning again, something rebooting, restarting, resurrecting, rebirthing, rebeginning, all those kind of things. And so it represents a cycle. And, here's the thing. There's a yin and a yang to everything in life, right? There's a good thing that happens from things being recycled, right? And there's a bad thing that happens from things being recycled, right? And that's really what it is. It's a recycling, right? That's what we're talking about, a recycling, right? And, when we talk about, using recycling plastic or recycling wood or recycling this and that, some of us have an idea of what that means. But when we talk about recycling our mental state, that's a different story. People don't know what that means a lot of times. Well, one of the ways that you want to start with recycling your existence and who you are and what you bring and what you produce and the way that you exhibit agency in your life and in the world and in your community is the recognition of goals and aspirations, right? One of the things that I offer my clients every year that most of them rave about is the New Year's goals and resolution session. And it's a session where we spend 90 minutes to 120 minutes focusing on your top 5 to 10 goals for the year and how to make it so that you're committed to those goals every single month of the year. And it doesn't matter if you start in January, which that's the opportune time to start, or February, or if you start in the middle of the year. Now, you might not want to necessarily reboot things in November or December. The year's kind of over. But, as long as you can get some traction, so it's a good time to reboot, right? And it's the spring. So when you enter the spring, you want to make sure that the seeds that you plant have fertile soil, right? It's very, very important. Because that soil is literally the foundation. Just like there's a foundation for a home or for a building, there's a foundation for things that you grow. right? And that foundation is in the soil where the seed is planted. So you want to make sure that the soil has the nutrition and the nutrients, the environment, all those kind of things that the seed requires in order to bud and start growing. If you want to take that to a kind of mindset and mental health and self-improvement and kind of self-care thing, then you want to go back to the basics, right? You want to look at, and this is especially good for people who started off the year with some New Year's goals and resolutions and they've slipped. They haven't started working out at the gym. They haven't started exercising. They haven't started adding stuff to their calendar. They haven't started using to-do lists. They haven't started making post-it notes. They haven't started automating this process or that process or using this system or that system that's going to help them grow. So this is a good time to kind of look at those things. But what you want to do when you recycle is look at the basics, right? What do I have and what do I need, right? What's required and what do I bring to the table? And obviously, you want to get rid of some things that don't need to be at the table and you want to bring the things that need to be at the table. And you start with the basics. So this is a really, really good time, hence the weather, to look at water, your water consumption. How much water are you drinking? Are you drinking enough water? Are you walking around dehydrated? Are you eating the right foods? Are you eating tons of vegetables? Do you have a variety of vegetables? Or are you just stuck with one vegetable, like potatoes, which are basically a starch, versus leafy green vegetables and vegetables of different colors? So it's a good time as you recycle your mindset and your state and your ability to reach your goals that you look at the basics, right? How much time are you setting aside for relaxation? Is the quality of your sleep good, bad, poor, fair, excellent? What is it? How is your sleep? Are you sleeping at the right time? Is your sleep starting at the right time? Are you wrestling to get started to sleep? Are you waking up multiple times throughout the night? Are you waking up refreshed or do you feel tired when you wake up? When you wake up, do you have a morning affirmation? Do you have a positive thought in the morning or are you just like, oh, not, just another day? That's really, really important because if your day starts out with you going, oh my God, let me just make it through another day. That is not a good thing, right? It's a good thing that you want to make it through the day, but it's not a good thing that that's your first thought when you wake up is, oh my God, just let me survive. Survival is not a good way to start things out. And it says something about you. If you start out your day going, let me just make it through today, what does that mean? It means you're in survival, right? It means you're burnt out. It means you're exhausted. It means you're just trying to survive, right? And if you are just surviving, your basic needs may not even be met. So this is a really good time to rebalance things, right? To rebalance your diet, to rebalance your social activities, to rebalance the things that you're taking in, the music you listen to, the TV you watch, the movies you watch, the friends you spend time with, the way you spend your money. How much money do you spend on this? How much money do you spend on that? How many meals, how many calories are you taking in every day? What is the composition of those calories? How many different types of vegetables and fruits are you eating every day? How much fish are you getting? How much, chicken or whatever it is? So this is a really good time to take inventory because if you recycle things, the key is the inventory. If you recycle things, what are you taking from what was? And what are you bringing to that to create what will be in the future? That's what reboot, resets, rebirths, resurrections, and recycles are all about. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up. As you know, this season, I made a commitment to shorts. This podcast episode has been going now for 9 minutes and 30 seconds right here on the dot. And I'm committed to doing 10-minute episodes and doing them more frequently. So with that being said, do something. If you want to schedule an appointment in my office, you can have a free consultation in my office at no cost to you. And we can talk about these things. But if you're in burnout, if you're exhausted, you need a reboot. And chances are you might need some help along the way. And I'm here to do that. So again, thanks so much for tuning in to the Fresh Start with Dr. David podcast. Be sure to check out my self-improvement books on Amazon, including my diet nutrition book, The Nutrient Diet. And also be sure to visit us online at www.ahmhw.com. With that, you take care, have a great weekend, and happy Friday. Bye.